Very few people who watched WWF in the mid to late 80s and early 90s could have looked at this show and said, you know who I think is going to be champion one day? The smaller guy in the pink tights. Yeah, the one from the Hart Foundation, Bret Hart. Yet, go to 1992, in the land of the Giants, here comes the excellence of execution. I am pretty certain that when Bret won the title, it became a surprise to me. But hindsight, it made sense. 1992 is the center of one of the most, what you would call probably one of the worst scandals to ever rock wrestling. Not just WWF, but the wrestling as a whole. This is when the government came for Vincent McMahon and his wrestling company. The federal government tried to bury this company. There were tough times for the WWF during this point. And make no mistake, many of Vince's wrestlers were shooting steroids left and right. Who is the most notable? I'm sure you could do the research and find that out. Allegedly. Vince had been looking for the replacement of Hogan for the better part of 4 or 5 years by now, if not longer. But now he had to go with the title on a guy who didn't look like a giant, who was a smaller guy, but a man who could go and would develop a rep as one of the best ever to enter the squared circle. Honestly, the WWF seemed to kind of have a we want him, we don't want him kind of relationship with Bret. They make him champ, and then some big guy comes around and takes the title. But true, their hand was forced. But I think they found in Bret Hart the man that they were looking for. And you might say, you know what? He had several singles pushes. Tried, long before 1992. So absolutely, some people maybe did think that the guy in pink tights was going places. Yes, but not those places. Even HBK talked about how it was a happy surprise that they did that with Bret Hart. HBK, Bret, and many like him expected the Intercontinental title to be the glass ceiling for people of their body type. Now, Bret was the right guy, like I said. But I always wonder if they never went with Bret as the guy. I wonder who they would have chosen. I always feel like if Warrior would not have gotten fired, I think he would rule the 1992 era. Yeah, but you would never know. You would never know. And I can never put my finger on it, but I always found Bret Hart compelling. I couldn't say whether it was his look, ability to tell a story in the ring, his crisp in-ring style, and the fact that he could look convincing against much bigger guys. When he beat Mr. Perfect for the first time for the Intercontinental title, I think it confirmed for me that he'd be a main eventer. He would have probably been there a lot sooner if it wasn't for Hogan. He was the right man to spearhead the new generation. Technical prowess, in-ring ability. Bret Hart, one of the all-time greats. Hope all is well.